Hey guys, the GeoDudez here, Jason.
And Rob.
And today we are going to do a recap for you on the big event that we announced to you 4 or 5 weeks ago, March CACHENESS.
If you don't recall, that was the 31 days of geocaching where each of us would go out one day or every day of the month and plan one find. So we each went out, one find a day, one each, and crushed cache every single day for the entire month.
31 days straight of geocaching, and let me tell you, exhausting.
It was rough, and especially where I work because I'm around like every major freeway. I know not everybody's familiar with Central Phoenix, but there's an airport where I'm at, so it's just tons of traffic. It's really just a pain in the butt to go out and plan a geocache. There's a river where I'm at, so really it's just a pain, but it was a lot of fun. I think my favorite part, without getting into it too deeply right now, was a lot of the different series caches. Some of them, you know, follow along the river. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I like the ones that are a series, that are a theme. Those are my favorites, really.
Yeah, there was a series that I did up near Pinnacle Peak Road, because that's the thing is, you try to plan out your caches, you know, on your way, you know, home from work, because we work 5 days a week. So you try to plan those out, and it's like once you get so many eliminated, you're almost to the point where you gotta start a little bit out of your range. And but you know, it made it more of a challenge. You get to see different areas and stuff like that. So I got to see more northeast Scottsdale area, which I'd never been around that area, so I got to kind of experience that. There's some cool, like, there's kind of like a zombie Bugsy cache. It's kind of like weird, like creature-like container and stuff.
Right, and mine was a bunch of nature-themed ones. I guess that there's some sort of conservation group that's moving into the area in Central Phoenix. I can't even remember what it is. I know that the series that it was working on was called the Raptor series. And each one taught you a little bit about the different animals that I guess are either native to the area or that are going to be part of this conservation group that's coming to town. So the names and the descriptions of each were part of that. But everything was along the Salt River. So if you're familiar with the Central Phoenix area, the Salt River that runs through, and there's the airport there. I mean, I literally just walked, it's probably 2-3 miles of just geocaches I think you're allowed every 528 feet. And there was one, at least that. So half the geocaches for the month were just part of that series for me. And it was kind of cool just walking up, you know, walking along the river, kind of just seeing the desert, seeing the terrain. I've lived here, I'm 30 years old now, I've lived my whole entire life, and this is stuff I've never ever seen. So that's the great thing about geocaching, especially this month. It gets you out of the normal area. I mean, if you've seen a million of our other videos, we always go to Buffalo Ridge. That's like 1.5 miles from my house, not even. So we've crushed probably 30-40 caches over there. But to actually get out of our area, you know, East Scottsdale area, formerly East Scottsdale or West Valley now for you, and Central Phoenix and North Phoenix for me, it was a good opportunity to get out and explore, and just, if not for the geocaching, just to see other stuff in the city that we wouldn't have otherwise seen without geocaching.
And one of the during that month, actually, we did a huge accomplishment for us. You guys probably saw the post on our Facebook page. If you didn't, we hit the 24 and 24 challenge, which was a grueling, exhausting day. Well, you'll see more of that. We won't give too much away because that's a whole video right there. Two-parter actually, because it's such a long day.
But look for the snake. The real snake, let me say, the real snake. Not like that fake one at Buffalo Ridge. Watch for the real snake.
Teaser.
Yeah,
it was, but that was one of the days, part of March. We did 24 and 24, which was a great accomplishment. It was really exciting to finish that feat, because we want to get the coin. And then I find out online when I'm looking up for us to get the coin for the 24 and 24, there's actually a 31 days of geocaching coin. So we get that too now. We get 2 coins.
That was completely unintentional. We thought we were going to kind of cash in the whole March Madness gimmick with the March CACHENESS. We thought we were being unique and whatever, and cute with that whole thing. Oh, March CACHENESS, that's our cool little thing. Come to find out, we were completely unoriginal. They already have a coin for it. It was already well thought out, but it's awesome. So now we're gonna get the 31 days of caching, 24 and 24. And did you already, I don't know, we hit on this. We hit, was it 250?
200.
Was it 200 or 250, are you sure?
Yeah, it was 200. We hit our 200 at 24 and 24.
Right, but by the end of it though, the next achievement from 100 is to 250, right?
Yeah.
So so we also, if I think
We're almost there.
we are there.
We're probably just gonna order 3 coins because we're probably next
Right.
week or two. We'll probably go geocaching and catch that 250.
By the time this comes out, we are either already at 250, so that would put us at 3 coins for the month, or 2 coins, pretty much. By the time this video comes out, we're gonna have 3 additional Geo coin, 3 Geo achievement coins, which is gonna be awesome. It's gonna put us at 4, so that's.
I know. I thought when we got the 100th coin, that was the coolest thing. And I was like, I said it there, and I'm just like, I only got 1 coin.
Well, I was looking at the YouTube video, and it's 8 months ago, and like the name for it was coming up in some of my subscriptions. And I thought, man, it was 8 months ago. It feels like just yesterday. And with all the coins, I mean, my short time in the military, 6 years, I'm looking at the coins that I got from there, the challenge coins. If you're in the military, you're familiar with those. You understand what those are all about. I'm almost halfway to the same amount of coins that I earned in the military, you know, that I am with geocaching. So my geocaching career is actually getting ready to outshine my military career. So that's actually kind of cool to see that. So I'm gonna have to get a separate little display for the geocaching coins, which is really cool. I think the next one up is 500, right?
Yeah.
Unless there's any other kind of obscure.
Maybe there's like a third party like Chinese version or something like that.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, we'll have to double our count, which, you know, if we have to do this March Caches thing every year, you know, which isn't a bad thing, or at least 2, you know, okay, we're going to. We do at least, you know, every now and then, maybe once a year, do the 20, you know, do 20 in a day or something like that, which we never thought we could get to, but we did it. We could easily rock those numbers up. So what would you say is like probably the most like challenging situation you ever had during the month of March? Like,
Okay, so for me, technology is something that after about 2007, I didn't really pay attention to. So I really learned how to truly look at a map. I mean, GPS pretty much takes you wherever you need to go, but even still, I'm kind of stupid. So I'm looking at the GPS, and it took me several months to figure out that on the geocaching that I was the blue dot, and I'm trying, you know, trying to figure out like the direction of where I'm going, so if I'm going left or right, to try to figure that out. I really learned pretty quickly which direction I was going, and with that being said though, as part of that learning experience, I found myself, so I'm looking at the map, it may be hard to kind of visualize, but there's the Salt River, so I'm by Scar Harbor, and there's the Salt River that's cutting through the middle of the map. So just picture the geocaching map, and then just kind of a river running right through it, north and south. So I'm looking at a geocache. I'm the blue dot on the south side, on the north side of the river. I'm looking at a geocache on the north side of the river. I didn't realize that the river was as deep as it was. Because really, if you get up to it, it just looks like some crappy little pond. But it's deep enough to where you really can't cross it. So I'm looking and going, how am I supposed to get to this other geocache? It's like 300 feet away. It's 300 feet away as the crow flies. But I'm on this little side street with these industrial buildings. No, I had to go like west 2 miles, south another 2 miles, and go to this little parking lot, and then go about a half mile east, and then down to find it. So as the crow flies, you're like 300-400 feet away, but really, realistically, to get there, you have to be down the road and south a little bit further, go to a parking lot. So that was like the biggest trouble for me. So I ended up sliding, mind you, because I work in banking, I had dress shoes on, a nice dress shirt, and some dress pants. I'm sliding down this rock hill, getting stickers and thorns in my hand, and I walk up to this river, and it's 300 feet across the river. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I gotta go all the way back. And I gotta climb up this mountain of rocks. So really learning how to truly look at that map and know what you're looking at and know the different ways to go. Especially, like I said, I've lived in Phoenix my whole life, but I'm not really familiar with the downtown area. I'm not really familiar with everything. Especially even more so in this age of GPS. You really don't have to know where you're going. The GPS is gonna tell you. And that's what played into you know, a lot of my troubles and a lot of the DNFs, or just really taking me a lot longer to find a particular geocache, is not really being able to read that map correctly, or to try to really find out what's a good starting point, where should I park, and then walk from. I always try to do it as the crow flies, but I found out that that wasn't the best method. So really take the time, map out your geocaches, and you know what, that's the other thing, you're really good at that. Jason always plans the geocaches. Any of the videos that you've seen where we hit 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, he's very, very, very good at that. He's very involved. He'll plan it out to know, okay, we're gonna go here, 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 and here, and he plans those out. And I really understand the importance of that now because, again, I always try to go as the crow flies, and I ran into a lot of difficulty with that. So please, if you didn't watch the tutorial video, if you can learn anything from this one, plan it out, look at the streets that are around you, look at some of the obstructions that might be present, and really think about what you're doing. Because as the crow flies with geocaching is not the best method, because you're gonna find yourself sliding down rocky and thorny hills, running into rivers, and wasting a lot of time.
I will say that doing it from like a consistent basis, I started to pick up like finding caches on like such a regular basis, like even easier and easier as the week went, because you almost started to pick up, where like a generic place that a cache would be, and obviously there's a really high difficulty one, it really threw you off on a loop, it may not be there, but like, when you get to a barricade, my instinct after doing so many times was behind like those yellow, corner signs or whatever, behind those, and of course these are like paper thin ones. And then when we did the 24 and 24, we did so many, that was near the end of the month, so we were already just like, got the geocaching mindset going from, the whole month of geocaching, that I was just like, that day we were like, bam, 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 finding caches and stuff. But I think I had 2 instances where I had really struggled. There was one was, I had 3 DNFs in a row, and I was livid. It was already almost 5 o'clock, and I'm usually home by 3, because I can hit my cache on the way, I'll be home at 3 o'clock. 3 DNFs in a row, all of them had fines, so it wasn't like, they had, DNF from previous people. So I was just really upset. I'm like, gotta get one, and I finally found one. And then the second time was the night of Batman vs Superman premiere, and I was going to the premiere right after work, so I couldn't geocache then. So the movie gets out at 9 o'clock, I have 3 hours left in the day, and I can find a cache at nighttime, which is very hard. Luckily, I had the support of my girlfriend Amy, because she even said right when the movie get out, I thought I was gonna take her home, and then I'll go do my geocaching. No, she's like, don't you have to find your geocache for the day?
What do you mean take her home? You guys bought a house together, man.
Well, we drop her off at home and then our home, whatever.
Oh, okay.
I didn't word it the way I did supposed to, but drop her off at our home and then go find a geocache. But no, she actually told me like, hey, you need to find a geocache before we go home. And so we stopped up near Desert Ridge area, pull off in a spot. I thought it wouldn't be that high of muggle area because it was like 9:30 at night, but no, there's cars driving everywhere. She's like, out the window trying to help me and stuff. I'm looking at my phone with a flashlight, trying to see through bushes and stuff. I finally found it, and then, yeah, other than those 2 moments, for the most part, it wasn't too bad in the month. It's very exhausting, every day having to to find a geocache, but that's what challenges are for. They're to challenge you to get to the best out of you.
At first, I'll say like it kind of bugged me. I was like, oh man, it's hot outside. I mean, again, we're in Phoenix, Arizona, and early March, sometimes it's blistering hot, and the next day it can just be freezing cold. And even then, within the same day, you're bringing a jacket to work, and then you're wishing you never even thought of it.
Sweating on the way home.
Yeah, sweating on the way home. You sweat like a pig on the way home. So, I mean, it's really that much of a stark difference. And I know you kind of went in the morning, sometimes you went at night. I typically had to do them at night, which had that added difficulty. I just really had to do that a couple times. But, for me, I had a few DNFs, and really my DNFs came a lot, I really think along that Raptor series, because it's the Rio Salado Trail. It goes all the way along from 24th Street to the US 60. Again, if you're familiar with the Phoenix area, you know what I'm talking about. But regardless, it's about a 2-3 mile stretch of trail, and you go from one area to the next. And in between, and again, the rivers in between it and some of the other commercial buildings, there's a lot of rocks and a lot of just debris and everything in there. And trying to scoop through all the rocks and to find out, that was where I had the most difficulty, was just pulling apart rocks, because
rock hides are the worst.
Yeah, rock hides are the worst, because as you were saying earlier, you kind of get that instinct to know, okay, what's out of place. If you're doing a lot of parking grabs, if you see a bunch of stacked rocks, you kind of know. Or if you're in a desert area and then you see a rock that really doesn't belong, you really know. But if you're in an area that has nothing but river rock for the entire trail, and your GPS says you're 12 feet away, and you get nothing but river rock, you have really nothing else to go on other than hoping that the rocks that are stacked are kind of up in an odd way. Otherwise, you're really relying on the fact that those coordinates are accurate. You're just pretty much just tossing rocks until you find something. The Raptor series, if you're in Phoenix, or if you ever come to Phoenix and you go through it, they're all a bunch of film. They're film canisters, and then some of them are just kind of long tubes. So they're tubes and then they're film canisters all along the way. So really, to try to find something that small in a big pile of rocks, really.
Needle in a haystack.
Yeah, it's a needle in a haystack. You're literally just tossing rocks just blindly.
Yeah, and then the heat gets to you, and then it's like, then you start getting frustrated mentally.
That's how I ended up with this wicked sun. I mean, you can't see it, but make up the farmer's tan going big time. I mean, it's red all the way here down, and then it's complete white boy all the way. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We did it. We hope you enjoyed all the photos we posted from when we took of all the cash we found. So, but until next time, we're the GeoDudez.
Crush the cash.
No more March cashness.
Thank God.